Every emergency call leaves a trail, a phone number, a timestamp, an incident number, a recording. Even if the caller hangs up after 2 seconds, even if nobody speaks, the system keeps everything. That's how 911 dispatch centers are built, because one missing record can destroy an entire investigation. For 27 years, dispatcher Michael Carter trusted that system. Until one night, it dispatched police to an emergency that officially never existed. The overnight shift had been unusually quiet. Michael had already finished the paperwork for a minor traffic collision and was halfway through a cup of stale coffee when line 4 lit up. He slipped his headset back on without looking away from the monitor. 911. What's your emergency? For 3 seconds, nothing. Only the faint sound of breathing. Not panicked. Not crying. Just slow, exhausted breathing. Michael waited. People often needed a few seconds before speaking. Finally, a woman's voice. I think someone is inside my house. Michael immediately reached for his keyboard. Okay, ma'am. Stay with me. What's your address? The woman answered immediately. 214 Willow Creek Road. Michael entered the address. The system accepted it. Good. The address existed. What's your name? Sarah. Last name. Turner. His fingers kept moving. Everything felt routine. Exactly the kind of call he'd handled thousands of times before. Are you alone? I think so. You think? The woman stopped. Michael heard something. Not footsteps, not breathing. A sound, metal. Very faint. Like a door handle moving. His voice became firmer. Sarah! I need you to answer me. Is someone trying to enter the house? A whisper. He's already inside. Michael didn't hesitate. His left hand hit the dispatch key. Unit 12. Possible home intrusion. 214 Willow Creek Road. The radio answered almost instantly. Unit 12 responding. Michael continued speaking to Sarah. Listen carefully. I need you to lock yourself inside the nearest room. No, I don't think he'll let me. Michael frowned. Who? Silence. 5 seconds. Then, I don't think. He wants me calling you. The line crackled. Not enough to disconnect. Just enough to make Michael lean closer. Sarah? No answer. Sarah? Nothing. Then suddenly, a man's voice. Calm. Close to the phone. You're too late. The line went dead. Michael was already watching Unit 12's GPS. The patrol car was less than 2 minutes away. Unit 12. Caller disconnected. No response. 5 seconds later. Unit 12 on scene. Michael opened the incident screen to continue documenting the call. Caller name, address. Call duration, incident number. Routine. Every dispatcher completed these steps automatically. He clicked the active incident. Nothing happened. He frowned. Clicked again. Still nothing. The screen returned to the previous case, a traffic collision from 23 minutes earlier. Michael blinked. He searched active incidents. Nothing. Pending calls. Nothing. Closed calls. Nothing. He stopped typing. Maybe he'd clicked the wrong window. It happened. He searched by address. 214 Willow Creek Road. No results. By phone number. No results. By time. No results. For the first time that night, Michael felt something he hadn't felt in years. Confusion. Not because the woman had disappeared. Not because of the man's voice. Because the system insisted the call had never happened. At that exact moment, the radio came alive again. Dispatch. It was Unit 12. We're at the address. A short pause. Then the officer added something Michael would never forget. What exactly are we supposed to be responding to? Michael slowly looked back at his monitor. Every field was empty. No caller. No recording. No incident number. No active call. And yet, a patrol unit was standing outside the exact address the missing caller had given him. The dispatch had happened. The call hadn't. Unit 12 answered almost immediately. Dispatch. Michael pressed his headset tighter against his ear. Confirm the address. 214 Willow Creek Road. A short pause. Confirmed. Michael glanced back at his monitor. The incident still wasn't there. No active case. No incident number. Nothing. He quickly opened the live dispatch history. Only one entry appeared. The traffic collision from earlier that night. Unit 12's response wasn't listed either, yet the officers were clearly on the radio. Dispatch. Unit 12 again. We've made contact with the homeowner. Michael looked up. Is she safe? A pause. Then, what homeowner? Michael frowned. The caller. Sarah Turner. Another pause. Longer this time. The officer sounded confused. The homeowner is an elderly man. He's lived here alone for almost 15 years. Michael's fingers stopped moving. Check the residence. We are. A minute passed. Michael listened to nothing but radio static and distant keyboard clicks around the room. Then the officer returned. House is clear. No signs of forced entry. No female occupant. No indication anyone called 911. Michael slowly turned toward the supervisor sitting several desks away. "Linda!" She looked over. "I need you for a second." Linda had supervised the night shift for nearly a decade. She had seen dispatch software crash, servers fail, power outages, entire radio networks collapse during storms. Michael rarely asked for help. When he did, she paid attention. "What happened?" "I dispatched Unit 12. "So?" "The call doesn't exist." Linda walked over. Michael slid his chair aside. She searched the active incidents. Nothing. Closed incidents. Nothing. Phone logs. Nothing. She frowned. Search by address. Michael already had. Nothing. Phone number. No record. Caller name. No record. Linda looked back at him. "You definitely answered a call." Michael didn't respond immediately. Instead, he reached for the radio. "Unit 12. Go ahead." "Did dispatch send you to Willow Creek Road?" "Affirmative. You gave us the address." Linda looked at Michael. Neither of them spoke, because they both knew what that meant. The officers hadn't gone there on their own. Somebody had dispatched them. Within minutes, the center's technical administrator was called in from the server room downstairs. His name was Eric. He'd worked on the dispatch system since the county replaced the old analog network years earlier. If a record existed, Eric would find it. He plugged directly into the call database. No search filters, no user interface. Just raw system logs. Michael watched silently. Eric searched by timestamp. Nothing. By dispatcher. ID. Nothing. By radio event. Only one thing appeared. 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 43 seconds. Dispatch issued. Unit 12. Priority. Home intrusion. Everything after that existed. The patrol assignment. The radio acknowledgments. The GPS movement of Unit 12. Everything. Everything. Except the phone call that started it. Eric leaned back. "I've never seen this before." Michael crossed his arms. "So, what does it mean?" Eric stared at the screen. "It means..." He hesitated. "Someone dispatched police without a recorded emergency call." Michael shook his head. "That's impossible." Eric nodded. "I know." Another silence filled the room. Then Eric quietly added the sentence none of them wanted to hear. "No. What's impossible is that the system allowed it." 3 days later, the internal review officially began. Michael was asked to replay every second he could remember. The caller's voice, the address, the dispatch, the radio traffic, everything. The investigators listened carefully, compared timestamps, checked server backups, recovered deleted cache files, even examined the emergency network's mirrored storage. Nothing. There was no missing recording. Because there had never been one. Unit 12's report, however, was impossible to ignore. Arrival time, 2:20 a.m. Location, 214 Willow Creek Road. Officer notes: residents searched. No signs of forced entry. No injured occupants. No emergency located. Dispatch completed. Every signature was present. Every timestamp matched. Every GPS coordinate matched. The officers had unquestionably responded. The only thing missing was the emergency that had sent them there. By the end of the week, the county requested an independent audit from the software company that had built the dispatch system. The engineers weren't investigating a ghost story. They were investigating mathematics. Databases don't invent events. Dispatch software doesn't skip incident numbers. Emergency calls don't disappear while their radio traffic survives. One engineer spent nearly 6 hours tracing every database transaction made between 2:18 and 2:21 that morning. When he finished, he quietly removed his glasses and looked across the room. There wasn't a failure. Nobody answered. He continued. There wasn't anything. Michael frowned. What does that mean? The engineer turned his monitor toward everyone else. The system never received an incoming call. Silence. But it still created a police dispatch. The room remained silent for almost a full minute. Finally, someone asked the only question that mattered. If there wasn't a caller, who requested Unit 12? Nobody had an answer. The incident was closed 31 days later. Official conclusion: no evidence of software failure. No evidence of unauthorized access. No evidence of human error. Cause: undetermined. Michael placed the report back into its archive box. For months, he avoided thinking about it. Eventually, he almost convinced himself it had simply been one impossible night. Until nearly a year later. Not during another emergency. Not during another investigation. During a routine software update. Every dispatcher was required to verify old incident records before the servers were restarted. Michael entered the case number from the Willow Creek incident. The screen immediately returned a message. No record found. He expected that. Then, almost absent-mindedly, he searched the address instead. 214 Willow Creek Road. One result appeared. Not a phone call, not an incident report. A patrol dispatch. Unit 12. 2:18 a.m. Status: completed. Michael stared at the screen. A dispatch still existed, without a caller, without an incident number, without any record that it had ever been created. He called Eric from IT. They searched together for nearly an hour. Nothing else appeared. Just that single dispatch, standing completely alone inside the database. No beginning, no explanation. Only an ending. The record remains in the system today. No one has ever explained who asked the police to go there,